Hi, this is Valante Grant, and I'm here with Mr. Katéy Assem, who is the Executive Director of the Chicago State University Foundation. How are you this afternoon, Katéy?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm blessed.
That's good. So am I.
Chicago State is the second oldest institution in Chicagoland, State University in Chicagoland. We were founded in 1867 as a normal college where teachers normal, where they train teachers. And over the years, there have been transitions to the point now where we're Chicago State University. We're a state institution. We serve a very interesting population. The majority of our students are African American, about 87% of them, and then another 7% of them are Latinos. So a good 94% of our students are people of color. But out of that group, 72% of them are women.
Wow.
With children. And so the majority of our population is young women, about 27. The average age of Chicago State is about 27 years. And they typically have about 2 children.
Wow.
So that's what we serve.
That's wonderful. And I didn't know all of that until I started to research, and it's very interesting. I'm very glad to be here today and to meet you.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little bit about the impact. You touched on it a little bit. Let's talk about the impact of Chicago State University Foundation and how critical it is to be here and to raise the funds for the university to make it accessible to the demographic that you described.
First of all, the Chicago State University Foundation was founded in 1968, December 1968. And the main purpose of the foundation is to raise private funds to support student scholarships, technology enhancements, and overall university infrastructure. So we're the private fundraising arm of the university. We're a private 501c3. So when people donate to the foundation, they get a tax deduction for it. Now, why are we critical? I have young women who walk in my office who have to struggle between buying a bus pass or buying their books, buying diapers for their baby, or paying their school fees. And so what the Chicago State University Foundation does is that when we provide these scholarships to the young people who come to this institution, we make a difference in their lives. The other thing that your research probably showed is that the majority of our students are first-time college attendees in their families. So truly, Chicago State University is in the business of transforming lives. And when we transform a life, we're not only transforming the life of the individual who we touch, we're transforming the entire family. So that's what we do, and that's the impact that we have. And of course, when you impact the family that way, now you have a person who gets a job, and now they're contributing to the tax base of the city. So for us, what we do means everything to the success of this city, success of this state, success of the community, and makes a difference in the lives of so many people.
Okay, Katéy, your passion for this foundation is very evident in the way that you talk about it and the school as well. How big a role do you think that plays in the success of not only the organization, but of the people that benefit from it, those students that you're talking about?
You know, for me, this is God's work.
That's right.
This is my calling. You've got to love it. Because when I see the young people graduate and walk off that stage with their diploma in their hand, that's a potential wife for my son.
That's good. Think about it.
You know what I'm saying? And I have 3 sons, and I need those boys married to some beautiful young women. But beyond that, you know, the Lord tells us that we've got to give back to the least among us.
That's right.
And I do this because I couldn't find anything better to do.
Oh,
You know, there's nothing better for me to do. This is my ministry. And I am so committed to it. And the people, you will find, I'm not unique in this passion about this place. From our president down to the people who pick up the trash and cut the grass and sweep the floor in this place, you will find that to a person, there is a passion and a commitment to creating an institution that makes a difference in our community, and that's what we're about.
That's wonderful. And it also helps create a good learning environment. I think that's key when you feel comfortable and like people care. Because it is, and I understand that struggle with trying to pay those bills, and sometimes you need to, when you get there, it has to feel somewhat like an oasis.
Yes.
I'm here. You know, I can get this done. Now, events like the concert that's coming up, let's talk about the impact that makes, not only in, of course, raising money, but raising awareness about the foundation and what you're doing. How does that impact that?
Well, you know, for Smokey to say to me, Katéy, I'm going to come over and I want to help you. He, like you, recognized the passion and what this means to us. And he wants to give of himself. And so he agreed to come in and do this concert for us. The funds we raised out of the concert is going to help us be able to give more scholarships out. It's going to help us be able to buy computers, buy iPads. Every student who comes to Chicago State gets a free iPad, for example, to start out with. So they can get their courses, they can communicate with their professors, they can, you know, do all the things that young people do on technology that otherwise they would not be able to do. And one of the things that the federal government has put out there is this big digital divide that exists between the communities of color and other communities.
Right.
And so part of what we're doing here is not just, give us money and we'll give scholarships to some students, but it's also solving the issues around the digital divide. It's also about community engagement. It's another way for us to say to the world, you don't have to hurt. You don't have to be on welfare. You could go to school, and this is how you could do it. And guess what? We'll help you do it. So this event is not only about raising money, it's also about raising the awareness. Mm-hmm. And for Smokey to lend his name to an institution like Chicago State to help us raise the awareness, I can't see a bigger gift.
Definitely.
That's a godsend.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. And I'm glad to see that megastars or legendary stars do care. Mm-hmm. That's always, it's encouraging to let you know. Well, first of all, it makes it feel like it's attainable when you have people that of that magnitude that will support you. So let's talk about the details of the concert again and make sure that everybody knows where it is, what time it is, and how to get tickets.
Okay. The concert is going to be in our convocation center, the Emil and Patricia Jones Convocation Center here on campus.
Okay.
And our tickets range from $50 all the way up to $350. And the way to get tickets is to go online, go to csu.edu/foundation, and you will see an icon, or you'll see a picture of Smokey right there, and you click on that, and it will give you all the instructions about how to get tickets. But if anybody has difficulty doing that, they could call the foundation office at 773-995-3839. Let me repeat that.
Okay.
773-995-3839, and they can get tickets.
Okay, and are you still taking sponsorships? Are there any sponsorships available still?
Yes, we still have a need for sponsorships. And let me talk a little bit about that. The sponsors get to participate in something called the strolling supper. And we will hold that in our library at 5:30, and then from that they will be escorted from the strolling supper, and they'll have, of course, the choice seats on the floor. They'll get to take pictures with Smokey after the concert. They have a free bar, so they'll be treated like sponsors, our corporate sponsors. But the other side of the sponsorship is that it gives us an opportunity to engage with people who are high net worth people, who are willing to give back to the community in this special way.
Okay, that sounds really good. Sounds a great opportunity as well.
Yes, it is.
Volunteers, not just for the concert, but volunteers in general. Are you still in need of volunteers?
We're always welcome. We have two major groups of volunteers that we work with on campus. The President's Council of Community Volunteers is a volunteer group that's managed out of the CSU Foundation. And then we have a volunteer group called the Taggers, Taggers. Both of these groups provide over 2,000 hours of free time and service. And we've calculated that that's over $100,000 if we had to pay the salaries of staff. Now, what do they do? For example, during convocation or when we're having graduation ceremony, these are the people who give directions as to where people can go sit when they have their ticket. People who come to the gala, where they sit. You know, when you go to the theater and you have the people, the ushers and that kind of stuff. So our volunteers do that. Our volunteers help us with getting messages out. They come in, they sit, they do the phone tree when we do our annual fund. We have an event called Essence of an Angel. That event honors single mothers. We raise funds specifically for single mothers. Our volunteers work with us on that. We have an event called the Arthur Stephens Scholarship Walk. It's an exercise program. Our volunteers walk with us, but they also help register people. They give away gifts. So any number of things that we need to do. And our chief volunteer, he's passed on now, Mr. Stephens. He was the campus dad. Mr. Stephens was a retiree here at the university. And when I think about him, the tears well up in my eyes. Because Mr. Stephens will walk the campus and ask the students, have you registered to vote? Have you registered for classes? What kind of classes are you taking? Pull your pants up. A gentleman takes his hat off when he walks in the door. A lady dresses like this. So, our volunteers do that. They walk the campus and they get to interact with our students and encourage them to go to school. Because sometimes students hit a brick wall and they need somebody to talk to. And it's not always in a clinical counseling session, but it's just an opportunity to talk to somebody to say, so-and-so, I talked to him. I talked to Mr. Jones and he encouraged me to keep going. Or they work in the daycare center. And because I'm able to trust Mrs. Jones, I'm able to leave my baby with him so I can go to class.
That is wonderful. So, just personally, share a little bit of the impact that this foundation has had on you. What do you take away from here?
Every morning when I wake up so early. I wake up at 4:30.
No, that's early.
And I'm ready to go.
That's good.
I thank the Lord for waking me up, for giving me another day. But I thank Him more so for giving me an opportunity to be able to serve Him in this kind of way.